Hello, I'm Eric Snodgrass, Principal Atmospheric Scientist at Nutrient Ag Solutions, and I want to thank you for watching this weekly AgWeather update brought to you by the Farm Credit Associations of North Carolina. When we look back on the month of May, we're going to see this temperature pattern was pretty much the pattern that held throughout much of the month, and it might set records in some locations because we saw temperatures, especially toward the end of May, that were daily 10 to 15 degrees above normal. But when we look at it on the whole, we can clearly see the pattern that had set up, a highly amplified pattern, repeated troughs that swept through the southwestern United States, and this large protective ridge at times over the southeast. And that particular pattern not only allowed us to accumulate quite a bit of growing degree day units, this is just the anomaly map from March 1st through June 2nd here, but it also did this to our precipitation. Just looking at the last 14 days, this map shows percent of normal. And we can see that overall through parts of the Carolinas stretching all the way back into the southeast, things were very dry with that pattern. Well, in this video, we have got to talk about change. Now, some of you recently have seen some pretty heavy rainfall. Just looking over the last weekend here, this is the last 72 hours, we can see that through parts of coastal South Carolina, but a lot of North Carolina saw some pretty big thunderstorms that moved through. And in fact, we saw this one on Friday, May 31st. Look at the hailstones we saw here in Speed, North Carolina. These brought to us by none other than Chris Hale. Kind of appropriate that that's his name, but these softball-sized hailstones producing several severe weather reports that move through parts of North Carolina. And the problem is that those severe weather, when it comes in, is not what we want. We'd like much more steady, gentle rain, bring in some cooler temperatures. Now, we did get some cooler temperatures that came in, and the cooler temperatures did help alleviate some of the incredible heat we've seen. But before I talk more about what those temperatures are doing in the longer term, I at least want to show you this. I know this isn't North Carolina, but we are in Alaska. This is Fairbanks. This is the town of North Pole. And don't feel like you're the only state in the country getting hit with big hail. That is the hail core of a large thunderstorm complex that moved through parts of central Alaska. So the whole country is dealing with a lot of adverse weather right now. Here's the game changer for the Southeast. This is the game changer for the Carolinas. I've been watching it at the end of last weekend, all weekend, but we are currently paying attention to a batch of tropical thunderstorms, could potentially be upgraded to Tropical Storm Barry. That's the second name on the list, that are coming out of the Bay of Campeche. And the thing is right now is that there's currently sitting in California a shortwave trough. And these two are going to meet in Texas later on this week. And they're together going to go toward southern Illinois and then possibly take a turn over here toward the southeast, bringing toward the end of the weekend a lot of rain. Steady rain. This is the kind of multi-day rainfall event that we like to have, not all of it coming at once, including some big hail. That is the biggest change we've seen since last week, and we got to talk about it, okay? Here's where it currently sits. Right now in the upper levels of the atmosphere, we're dealing with the outflow of the convective thunderstorms that are sitting over the Bay of Campeche right down there. And this is the broader trough that are going to come together right in through this area and head over toward the southeast with time. So this is the flow pattern. Let's take a look at it. But one thing I do hope you all notice is it looks way different than what we had been seeing. Look at the overall flow of the jet stream. There's a deep trough sitting here in the Hudson Bay, and one of the benefits of that is we've been able to suppress some of the incredible heat we've had. In fact, to your north, we've had some really cool mornings here, at least on Sunday morning and on Monday morning, but getting into Tuesday and Wednesday morning as well. All right, total accumulated precip. Are you ready for this? This is your next 9 days. We still have some drier weather to get through this week, but look at the precipitation we are expecting starting later this week coming into this part of the United States. We look at this overall, we're talking about picking up anywhere between an inch and in some locations 3+ inches of rainfall. And many across this region couldn't be happier. Now, yes, this is going to be problematic because we're dealing with, we're still trying to plant things. We're still trying to get things going. But overall, for the health of our summer, we need this precipitation coming in right now. So let's talk about some of the details of this. Again, we're going to be watching a few features here. First, there is the subtle feature in the Bay of Campeche. Now, tropical systems are warm core. That's why you don't see a big trough right in there. But we're going to watch it meet up with this trough, and this is the trough that helped bring in some of the cooler weather. So these two are going to meet here and sweep across. I want you to see that. And then we're going to pay attention to what happens to the pattern after this. So as we click play, let's pause it right about there. You see, much of this week, we're not going to be seeing too much precipitation. It's not going to be toward the end of the week when that feature finally slides down here Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And that's going to be the main driver of our weather. So we're going to get to that in a few minutes, but I want you to see the overall pattern change we're picking up for by mid-June. You can kind of see it with me here. It's kind of featuring something a bit more like this, right? Where we have this broader trough sitting in the Great Lakes states. That's going to help keep things much more closer to normal across the Carolinas in terms of temperatures, and it's almost the exact opposite pattern we had in the month of May. Month of May did this, okay? So this changeover through the month of June is going to certainly be welcomed as we progress into summer. All right, what does it mean in terms of temperatures? Well, we still kind of hang on to a bit of a warm bias throughout the next 5 days. But you can see the influence of the cooler pattern that's in the northeast keeping us much, much closer to average. As we stretch this out into the 6 to 10 day forecast, we can see again, we're no longer seeing these much above average temperatures. So quite a changeover from the pattern we saw at the end of the last month. In terms of severe weather, well, on Monday, it's certainly going to be way far to our west. Tuesday, general risk of thunderstorms. It kind of starts to move into the area, but it's going to be Wednesday, and we'll show you this in more detail here, that we're going to be on the lookout for some stronger storms to possibly progress through the region. And there's going to be a boundary that's going to hang out just like this, a frontal boundary that those storms might initiate on. So really, if I were going to tell you Monday, Tuesday, not too much of a threat, but Wednesday is going to be the day we're going to have to watch carefully. Again, what could be Tropical Storm Barry right now is forecast to come up towards southern Illinois, and then make a turn back down toward the south as it's kind of teamed up with that upper level trough. So that's the big wild card as we move forward in the forecast. Now, I wanted to give you the whole U.S. view of this, but this is the next 10 days as forecast by the ECMWF. Of course, that's the European model, and the U.S. model, the GFS, is over here on the right. And if you just zoom in on what's going on in the Carolinas, we can clearly see that both models are picking up on widespread 1 to 3+ inches of rainfall. But it's when does that rainfall get here that we have to talk about. So let's get into that. Ready? To start off our week, higher atmospheric pressure is going to keep things kind of under wraps here. I just played out for you Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday real quick. So this is Monday morning, sliding into Tuesday morning. You can see the dome of higher atmospheric pressure sitting here. That's going to keep things relatively suppressed in terms of cloud cover and precipitation. But what's coming through the eastern Corn Belt is something we're going to watch by the time we get into Wednesday. Because Tuesday night and Wednesday morning, a frontal boundary gets stalled right in through here. And then that by Wednesday afternoon starts to bring in widely scattered showers and storms for parts of North Carolina. Now this progresses into the evening hours on Wednesday, so you can see that's going to be our first chance at getting some showers and storms in this area. Meanwhile, hope you noticed it, but here is what could be Tropical Storm Barry moving into parts of Texas. Now meanwhile, while that's occurring, for the end of this week, much of the Carolinas, we're going to be dealing here with widely scattered showers and storms out ahead of Barry, or what could be Barry. And what we'll notice here is that by the time we get into Friday, there it is moving through parts of the Mid-South, and this will just be the continuation of what will be a lot of scattered showers and thunderstorms this week, getting into the weekend, which will be much more, widespread showers, much more persistent showers and thunderstorms moving through the area. So your next weekend is looking like it's going to be a wet one, even into early next week. So look at this. I'm out to Tuesday and Wednesday. So that is the influence of that tropical system coming around, heading in this direction. Is that really getting toward the weekend, our chances of more persistent rain are much higher. So watch this carefully with me throughout the week, because starting this weekend, getting into next week, it's going to be wet. Before that, a lot of scattered showers and thunderstorms really beginning on Wednesday. Okay, that's our main precipitation forecast moving forward here. What I want to do to finish up your video is just keep you aware of some things going on globally. So I'm going to quickly take you over to Europe. We are watching in parts of the Russian wheat belt, and also, so if you just want to get a quick geography lesson here, this is the Black Sea. So this is Ukraine, and this is Russia, and this is the Russian wheat belt in through here. This might help move markets a little bit this week, because we are seeing a pretty sizable ridge here moving all the way up into the Scandinavian countries. And while it's going to be quite warm, we're also going to be seeing drier than average conditions. So it's something to be aware of. Outside of that, let's go over to Asia. We're just looking at other northern hemisphere growing regions right now. India, we're looking at a week of triple-digit heat. It's going to be very, very hot. Also, this growing region in China, also very hot to start off the week. So China and India, very hot. Now, the Indian monsoon is slowly getting going. You can start to see down here in southern India the showers and storms that will be slowly over this next month progressing here, such that by July, we've moved it much farther to the north and the monsoon will get going. But while we're still waiting for it, a lot of heat, very, very hot conditions in India. But look at this. In this region in China, which is going to start off hot, we're going to watch a low pressure center that's going to track right over that growing area in China. Now, this was a region that was very dry over the last 15 days. Big low pressure system sweeping through, in some locations dropping well over 3 to 6 inches of rain in some places. Meanwhile, much of the rest of China's growing area, which is confined inside of that circle, is having a drier week, but the temperature stresses are not high. So I just want to give you that quick global update and just tell you, keep a close eye on the storm systems coming midweek, and then watch out for what could be called Tropical Storm Barry, but still the remnants of the tropical convection out of the Bay of Campeche will be making for next weekend's rainfall event across much of the Carolinas. So we'll keep a close eye on it together. Talk to you again next week. Hope you all have a great week. And we just want to thank you for watching from Nutrient Ag Solutions and the AgCarolina Farm Credit System. Thank you.